Was Avatar 2 a flop? Hey guys, today we're going to know if Avatar 2 was a flop. Let's get right into it. So far, it appears that the much anticipated Avatar: The Way of Water is underperforming at the box office. In a statement reported by Bloomberg, Disney cut its forecast for Avatar, saying it was likely to garner between $130 and $150 million domestically on its opening weekend in North American theaters, below an initial forecast of at least $150 million. Meanwhile, according to Deadline, the film came in at the lower end of that range, with a $135 million opening weekend in the United States and Canada. Following the positive buzz, Box Office Pro analyst Sean Robbins predicted earlier this month that the film would gross between $167 million and $192 million. While these multi-million-dollar figures would be a blessing in a bank account like yours or mine, they represent a shocking underperformance for a film that took 13 years to make and had an unprecedented production budget in the hundreds of millions of dollars. Disney's most recent Marvel outing, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever for comparison, had a budget of roughly $250 million and grossed $181 million domestically. These figures are comparable to the most recent installment of the Benedict Cumberbatch-led Doctor Strange film series, which grossed an estimated $411 million at the box office. After the record-breaking numbers of the first Avatar film back in 2009, these figures represent an estimated 60% drop for Avatar 2. It still makes Avatar's sequel the 7th highest-grossing December opening weekend in history, but marks a lower take than Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, which took in $181 million earlier this year. The film reportedly cost $350 million to make. According to Variety, director James Cameron has declined to publicly state a figure, but has suggested that it would need to gross more than $2 billion to break even. With its $71 billion acquisition of Fox in 2019, Disney gained control of the Avatar franchise, despite failing to live up to initially heady hopes. The Avatar 2 opening weekend still represents a sizable intake, outpacing the opening for Top Gun: Maverick. Also, Avatar: The Way of Water has a runtime of more than 3 hours, leaving many fans wondering if the film has the pacing and prose to encourage multiple viewings and sore backsides. Furthermore, while the original film made a huge splash for its technological achievements, it is widely regarded as having weak characters and a very rudimentary story, leaving many to wonder whether the sequel will remain in the cultural conversation for years to come, or fade away and be remembered only for its visual flair. The vast majority of Hollywood movie sequels subscribe to the notion that failure to match or exceed the previous film's box office denotes a poor performance. The same principle applies in business. If your charts are pointing down, something isn't working. Although there are some caveats. Whether or not a sequel improves on its predecessor is a good predictor of success, but not for Avatar 2. While nothing impossible, expecting Avatar 2 to outperform Avatar at the box office is unfair, owing to how much time has passed between entries. Avatar's original audience is 13 years older, which means that many of the teenagers who were blown away by Pandora's splendor in 2009 will now have a mortgage and children of their own. And it's not just the consumers. Movie distribution in 2022 is a completely different beast than it was when Avatar debuted. The rise of streaming, the lingering impact of COVID-19, and a considerably more volatile market mean Avatar will return to a theatrical landscape every bit as alien as Pandora once was to Jake Sully. In general, breaking the $1 billion barrier is regarded as a sign of a highly successful film. Only 51 releases have joined this exclusive club, and Spider-Man: No Way Home and Jurassic World Dominion show that the feat is still entirely attainable post-pandemic. Avatar 2 failing to pass the $1 billion mark could only be judged a disaster. Given the first film's record-breaking antics, the James Cameron factor, and the epic scale of Avatar 2, even grossing in the region of $1.5 billion smells of underperformance, though it wouldn't be an abject horror show in today's climate. In a June 2022 Empire interview, James Cameron admitted that Avatar 2 grossing 20% or 30% less would be bad. Avatar's original theatrical run, deducting subsequent re-releases, scored $2.7 billion, so by Cameron math, even $1.8 to $2.1 billion is less than ideal for Avatar 2. As strange as it may sound, that concession begins to make more sense when considering Top Gun: Maverick's unexpected recent success, currently around $1.4 billion. If Tom Cruise in a plane can pull such numbers, the Na'vi should rightly expect to surpass him. Nevertheless, only 5 movies have grossed over $2 billion, the most recent being Avengers: Endgame. Even if it doesn't challenge Avatar's 2009 numbers, Avatar: The Way of Water becoming the 6th film to gross $2 billion would be considered a strong showing in the eyes of many. As a result, true success for Avatar 2 is likely to start at $2 billion. At the very least, James Cameron being able to claim he directed half of Hollywood's entire $2 billion club would deflect conversation away from Avatar 2, making up to $700 million less than the original. The most intriguing of all possible outcomes would be Avatar 2 bombing at the box office while wowing critics and converting skeptical audiences. Most directors would take at least half a win if their underperforming film was warmly received. But Avatar's legacy is so inextricably linked to financial success that even the warmest reception wouldn't be enough to cushion the box office blow if Avatar 2 fails to make money. That's all for today, and we'll be sure to catch you all in the next one.